Hello and welcome to a Thursday night Facebook Live with Christy Hillock at CJ Card Creations. I am so excited to be here with you. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I have a fun project using different designer series papers tonight. So I hope that you will enjoy this. And as always, I love it when you case my project and then share it over on my group, CJ Card Stampers Group. There will be a link to that in the description of this video. So before we get started, I have just a few things to talk about. Let's see, I have a class next Monday night, so I'll put a link for that in the description of the video. And that is here at my house in Salt Lake City. Hey Mom, I'm glad you're here. So we'll make 3 projects and it's free with a $25 order. Hey Janie, or $15. So that is that class. And then I also have a class to go that is open for registration right now. And it uses the Blessings of Home bundle out of, it's actually in both of our current catalogs. So I will show you a sample of that here in just a minute, as well as what you get. And then there will be a link for that. There's a shopping link. And so this month I started kind of a new program where if you would like to receive kits to make the 3 cards that I will make this month, so 1 each Thursday, then you just put in an order using the host code that I will link up in the description of the video. Hey Ellie, it's good to see you. I never get to see you on here. So then at the end of the month, I will send you those 3 card kits. So that is a fun new thing I'm doing. And then just some other miscellaneous links to my Stampers group and my Instagram and my YouTube. So I'm going to switch the camera. We also just launched a new paper pumpkin. This month's is Pick of the Crop, which it's got, just kind of summery, gardeny sentiments and all sorts of different rich colors and things like that. So I think that it will be a fun one. And then they're also selling as a side option mini canvas bags that will hold the cards so that you could give them as a gift. Hey Aunt Pat, thanks for being here. All right, so back to that class to go that I'm offering right now. It does use that Blessings of Home. This is one of the cards that you'll make in the class, and I do try to always remember to decorate the inside as well. The kit comes with a full bolt of this beautiful denim ribbon and these pebble shapes, and then a half a pack of this designer series paper. And so that is 6 full 12 by 12 sheets and just all different flowers and bees and foliage. It's really pretty. A little bit more muted colors. So I think that's kind of fun. All right. So that was the first thing that I wanted to show you. And then I also just finished up my product shares. And so I want you to see what they look like so that next cycle you have the opportunity to order it knowing what you're looking at getting. So in here, kind of big, so it's hard to show you, but all of our new specialty papers, all of our new designer series papers, so the 6x6, and you also get 6x12 depending on the original size of the paper. So there's foil and distressed gold, and then I did just include a list of everything that's there. So basically a product share just enables you to get a little bit of everything instead of having to pace yourself. So you know, because to buy all of everything is quite expensive. And then this is my ribbon share. And so, excuse me. So you can just see all of the new ribbons that are included and then the list as well. So that's that. And then every week I ask you to like and share my videos on whatever social media you're on, and then come back and share in the comments of this video that you shared. And that way I know to enter you for the drawing. And this week it's Janie who won. So I'm glad you're here watching, Janie. This is the What a Year, Memories and More card pack. And these are 2 different sizes, and they're great for memory keeping, scrapbooking type thing, or also you can turn these cute little cards into layers on just a regular card that you're going to send to someone. So congratulations to Janie. I will get that to you. And I think that's everything. So last week I shared how to do a little bit of watercoloring in addition to this layout that really focused on the designer series paper. So this would be the first kit in the pack that you'll get at the end of the month with that host code. And then tonight, oh, I'm sorry, your dogs are barking. It seems like they're a little fragile when it comes to staying quiet. Tonight, this is the card that we are going to make, and I just titled tonight's class as using designer series paper to embellish your cards. And you can see I just used some there to get that banner out. So I think that this card turned out pretty cute. It's a little more masculine, which is also somewhat of a struggle when you really like flowers and all the pretty things, bows and sequins and all of that. So I also have 2 other samples to share with you. Same layout and concept for the most part, but very different looks. So this one used the All Together designer series paper and the dies. And then this one uses the Waves of Inspiration suite that the stamps and dies are still available. And I believe this paper is still available as well. It's just the foils and the rhinestones that had gone out as far as the last time I checked. So, and then I did this for the inside. I haven't glued it in yet because I'm still photographing and everything. But I just think that you can do so many fun things with the insides of our cards and we sometimes forget. So anyway, I will put all of the measurements for this card in the description once I get done filming. So just so you know, you don't have to worry about writing it down. So I am going to bring in my little kit here. So I started with just a Poppy Parade card base. And for this one, I decided to do it the standing up way. I don't know. Some people call it hamburger and hot dog, and I can't make those nicknames make sense. So that is our Poppy Parade card base. And then I have just a very vanilla card liner, so 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm not actually decorating that one today, but I am going to set that off to the side for a second. And then I have an evening evergreen mat. And I guess I didn't actually mention, but I'm using I believe it's, nope. I know, right? Like it doesn't make sense to me. And I hear people say the hamburger and hot dog thing over and over, and I still just don't get it. So anyway, Hey Sports Fan is the designer series paper that we are using. And our catalogs always do a nice job of incorporating some method of telling you what colors are in it. So this paper uses Poppy Parade, Bumblebee, Night of Navy, and Evening Evergreen. And then it's also vanilla based rather than basic white. So I have cut out a 3 by 3 3/8 by 4 5/8 piece of Evening Evergreen. And then my designer series paper is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So we'll just start by gluing that on here. And yes, if someone can explain it to me in a way that will stick in my brain, that would be fantastic. And maybe then it would actually make sense. I don't know. Anyway, I just typically do the 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Either way, it's a half of a piece of cardstock, but you just have to score it on the right bit. And this way actually seems to photograph better, but otherwise I think it really doesn't matter. And you would want to do the 5.5 by 8.5 if you wanted it to be landscape. So anyway, all of that aside, I'm just going to get the basic gluing done here. And apparently I'm back on liquid glue again because, yeah, I don't even know where my tape runner is at the moment, but I'm sure it will make an appearance before too much longer. Okay, this is a different piece of the same pack of Hey Sports Fan paper, so you can see different ticket type things on one side, and then this is just a nice wood grain that they did in navy. And honestly, I thought it was Misty Moonlight, which is one of our colors that just retired. And so when I looked at the actual colors listed, I was kind of surprised. But anyway, this suite of products also included a twine combo pack and obviously stamps and dies, but I actually don't have those. I put my kid in all the sports, but I never seem to buy the stamps. So anyway, one of these days I'm going to have to start because, you know, scrapbooking and all of those things that I hope to get to someday. So now I'm just going to trim off this piece. So ultimately this piece of paper is, I believe, 1.5 by 5.5, but I just left it long because I know that my 5.5 is never quite the same as the 5.5 on the card. So that way I can trim it a little bit easier. Now I need some dimensionals, and we will pop up this second panel. So I started planting flowers this week and I am so excited, and I just want to get back to it, except that it's been cold again. So I'm hoping that everything I did plant survived. You know, just that unpredictable weather that everybody has. And then Texas, where my mom is, has been in the hundreds, which is insane. And I was talking to a friend in Colorado who usually, oh, hey, Sarah, you're here. Nice to see you. Sarah actually was just telling me that they could have planted their garden a month ago because they've been so warm, which is really uncharacteristic. So I don't know. It's makes planning things a little bit challenging when you never know what you're facing, but I guess that should just give us a little bit more respect for our farmers. All right, so where's on fire, Sarah? Like literal fire? Because I know New Mexico has been really bad, and Texas, of course, but I didn't realize Colorado was burning. Okay, so I just wrapped this, and this is that fan baker's twine. So it comes in the navy and evening evergreen and poppy parade with white. And I could have really used any of those on this card, but I did just decide to go with the navy to pull in that blue panel a little bit more. So now that I've got that twine wrapped around, and I just tied it in a knot, and I'm going to hide the knot with the banner that I'll cut out momentarily. But I'm going to go ahead and peel off all the backings on these dimensionals and get this on here. And this is one of those rare cards where I actually have 2 layers of popped up bits. So you can see there's just, let's see, a little bit more dimension to it. Typically I don't do that because mailing then becomes a little more challenging, but I just decided that this one needed it. So, all right, so looking at this particular piece of paper, I don't want to go with any of the green flags, just because green on green, I feel like it wouldn't stand out quite enough. I could very easily go with either the poppy parade or the bumblebee. And because the bumblebee is close and will stand out nicely, I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. The back side of this is, I guess those are like baseball stitches. And I wasn't a huge fan of that, so it didn't hurt me quite so badly to chop up this piece of paper the way I'm doing. But you could certainly avoid that if you had the stamps and dies, or even just the stamps, because this is really quite simple to cut. So finished that, and now I'm just going to set that big piece aside, and now I'm going to come back in and do sort of a finer, more precise job of fussy cutting. And I'm just using my paper snips because you do want pretty small scissors for this, just because they're easier to manage and a little easier to get to do detail. All right, and then I'm going to round that corner just a touch and come in and get the flag part there. And we are almost ready to stick this on our card. And I do actually have just one stamp that we'll do with a die. It's from the Charming Sentiments bundle that's in the new annual catalog. And it is, it was the $1 Million Achiever stamp set, and it was inspired by Lisa Curcio, who is a fantastic demonstrator, and she does really wonderful videos. And so if you're ever looking for someone else to check out, she's definitely worth watching. And this bundle that she inspired is awesome because it is all sentiments, and they're all cut out with dies in a way that would make you think that you fussy cut them, but you didn't, because it's a die set and it's wonderful. All right, so we are going to go just like that, and I will get those popped up. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad it's not close to you, but certainly fire moves fast, so I hope that they can get that under control quickly. I was listening to something about the New Mexico fire the other day, and I guess parts of it started as a controlled burn that they were looking at the forecast, and the forecast was wrong. So that is certainly not a good situation. All right, so I'm gonna get that on there, and now I'm just going to bring in a scrap of Berry Vanilla and my Poppy Parade ink and my stamping block. And then this is that stamp set, so it's got a ton of different sentiments. It's really great. And somewhere in here, there is one that says, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. So with photopolymer stamps, I have found that it's easier to lay them down with the stamping surface down. And then I really like these blocks that have lines on them because I can sort of do a better job making sure it's straight. Because photopolymers are really nice and bendy and flexible, if you don't do it that way, you run the risk of having the stamped image not actually fit in the die. So just something to keep in mind as you are using any of your photopolymers that go with dies. So we'll just stamp this right on here and get all of this ink stuff out of the way. And I'm going to bring in my cute little mini cut and emboss machine. So we will put this on here. And because these are quite close, and you just don't see much halo on them, this is a good candidate for using washi tape or post-it notes, whatever you have that will kind of hold these together while you're trying to get them lined up. So I am just going to grab a little bit of washi tape because that's the closest thing. And make sure I'm not sticking my head in the camera's view. All right, so go just like that. And then, you know, every time I pull this out, on camera, it acts like it doesn't want to cooperate, but this time it is nice and easy. So for those of you who pay attention or were wondering, I'm using my number 3 plate and then 2 number 2s, and I did just offset the ends of them that were feeding into the machine first. So that worked that time. It's one of those things that I think it changes with the weather or something, but anyway. All right, so we will pull that washi off now and put this die back in its little set. So you see all these dies, and that's actually only one of the pages. The other page has hearts and stars and all sorts of cute things. So it's a really nice set. I'm very, very glad that I was able to get my hands on it and looking forward to play with it some more. So we are just going to kind of set this on here and figure out how we want it to sit. And then I need some mini dimensionals, and I'll use just a touch of glue as well so that just the part that's already popped up, like, so that it stays even. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining how exactly I mean, but there's those 3 just across the very bottom. And then I'm just going to run a little bit of liquid glue across the top where it's going to sit on the banner. So peel off these little wax bits and be good to go. Assuming that I don't stick my fingers in all the glue and that kind of thing. So I think that looks pretty straight on there. Now the last thing that I want to do, and this is another part of the collection or suite, product suite, I'm never sure when they're using which term, but these cute little resin stars come in all the colors, and we will bring in, I think, some red stars for this one, just to, or poppy parade, just to make them stand out against that evening evergreen a little bit more. So I hope that you like this layout and the idea of trimming pieces from your designer series paper. The new tea time something or other, because I don't know any of the names yet, it also would be a good candidate for cutting out bits of paper to use instead of stamping and die cutting your own things. So that is that. A little bit different look with the different colors, and I think that they turned out really nicely. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you the other 2 designs quickly. And that is all that I have for you tonight. So thank you so much for joining me. It was so nice to see you all, and I hope that you enjoyed this and will copy and share with everybody. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.